Blood and guts game, literally. I mean, our catcher's a nosebleed, I think, from a foul tip, but it was a blood and guts game, and it came with some, stoppages in play and interesting things like that. But I think if you paid for your ticket, I'm not sure what the price is, but I think the Alabama fans, and unfortunately, we seem to be racking up Tennessee fans, got their money's worth. Ready for whatever you got.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Trey.
All right, Tony, can you walk us through the bottom of the ninth inning? And I also saw when everybody was running to the outfield, you ran straight to the umpire, knowing that you saw the call on the field. What was that explanation like from them? And then also, you were also talking about did one of the second baseman get hit in the lower region? Is something you were asking the umpires as well?
Yeah, I mean, I asked him if he said he hit him in the nuts. So I was trying to get clarification. So I guess I was either a little too demonstrative with my body language, or you're a really good lip reader. Maybe that was disrespectful in the fashion that I asked, but obviously there was a lot of energy in the park at that point. But that's all I got on that deal. I mean, kind of with my opening statement, I don't have really clear thoughts about the game other than it's about the ball players, man. Guys out there playing ball, and certainly don't want to discredit anything, Lee did. He's one of many examples. You might see another closer on the field here in a second. Fergie's this type of guy. Not a lot of credit or shine in high school, but if you're a good kid and you're a hard worker and you compete like those guys do, good things seem to happen. And, those were the guys that were out on the field. Both teams kind of committed to their closer. And, again, credit to their guy, but I'll live and die with our guy, Sean Hunley, any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Got Ben next.
Tony, what did you see at the plate today? It seemed like you all were hitting a lot of hard balls just kind of right at people. Was that frustrating, and what was your perspective on that?
It's frustrating internally, but when the stakes are high, I guess stakes are high. You talk about poker. I mean, you can't show your hand. I think both teams had some well-struck balls today. I don't know if we had more or not, just locking in on our guys. I think at times the at-bats were really good and they didn't get rewarded. But that's the nature of the beast, and it also kind of comes with the territory of playing here. A lot of times the park will play big. But for the most part, I was just, pleased with the preparation. The game before us got cut short, so we literally rolled right off the bus and onto the field. But the guys were ready. Will Heflin continues to be a leader on this team in a lot of different ways. And then again, I think right out of the chute, especially with Fergie's at bat, the guys were ready to play ball. And to me, that's what it's all about is ball players on the field.
Got Mike next.
Yeah, Tony, sorry to go back to it, but what did you see on the play in the ninth? And then you mentioned the kind of contact.
I saw Max slide straight into the base. So, again, maybe too demonstrative. I mean, I'm still young and dumb, so sometimes my etiquette isn't the best, but that's why I was pointing to the slide mark there, was that he slid straight into the base. And then I had the replay. I just checked the replay one time to see what my opinion was. And, I didn't ask Fergie what was going on, if he's protecting his face or whatever. So that's my read, is a pitcher made a great pitch. One of the best players ever to play at Tennessee did what he needed to do. Short through the middle was kind of what we were talking about against a good, a pretty dang good pitcher with a lot of movement. And, we want to play ball hard. There's teams here probably with more talent than us, so we want to play hard. And we anticipate or expect our guys to run as fast as they can from point A to point B. And in my opinion, that's what Rucker and Fergie did in that situation.
Got Ryan next.
There's not a ton of postseason experience on this team. Is that there's some positive and kind of seeing a bunch of craziness happen in that ninth inning?
Absolutely. Emotions are going to run high this weekend, next weekend. They certainly ran high in the SEC. That's the benefit, is you get thrown into a fire every weekend and you got to do it 10 times. So you get as much practice as anybody in the country at learning to control adrenaline, learning to control emotions, and then just kind of feeling your way through stuff. And kudos to a kid like Christian Scott. He almost hit a game-tying homer, I think, last year or the last time we were here against Auburn, and he came off the bench and was phenomenal for us today. And a lot of that has to do with him controlling his emotions. He's come a long way from, what he was as a freshman that year he did that. And Sean Hunley's got the world coming down around him. It seems like every time he's out there, but in particular today. But he led by example by controlling his emotions.
Wes, did you have another question?
Yes, I did. Tony, you said several times this is, about the players, and, it's sort of your reaction. What happened in the ninth is you say it's about the players. How do you explain something like that to your players? Do you just say, guys, bad luck, it happens? Or how do you explain that to them? And also, do you still want clarification from the SEC or on that call, or are you okay with it now?
No, I mean, I'm not okay with it, but I'm not okay with losing either. But you either win or you learn, and we talked about some things we could learn from in the outfield, and I didn't really explain it to them. I mean, they know by now. I mean, there's verbiage and things like that. You show up, better play ball, man. This is not an easy jersey to wear, and we take pride in that, and I'm sure every other team does here too. This is the SEC. This tournament's a big deal. So you show up and you play ball, and then at the end of the day, the scoreboard will tell you who did that better, and regardless of how we got there, their guys had a gutty performance, as did ours, and the scoreboard says we were an inch or however many inches you want to call it short today, and our guys can either go home, and we got some time, not a lot of time before you wake up early in the morning, but they can either be frustrated by it or maybe use it as fuel.
Time for one more question. We'll get Mike in.
Tony, with Will, what led to the decision to establish the rotation this way with Will, then Chad, and is that a reflection kind of setting things up for next week as well, potentially?
I love him. He's he's earned everybody's respect around here as a starter, as a person. The Tennessee Vols are here for the first time in a long time. I mean, we barely even caught our breath last trip here, and we had to go home. So he's been here. He's done it. He's one of the big reasons why we're in this position. And then because he was so efficient, I mean, that's maybe an emotional answer, but if there's any strategy to it, we were fortunate that Will was, efficient with his pitch count against South Carolina. We decided to go with Sewell just like we did today to try and get us out of a jam at South Carolina, but he only ended up with 60 pitches. So we benefit greatly from the way he threw today in a lot of different ways, and in one way is Chad and Blade can still kind of stay on task with their routine. And Will Heflin, since we've gotten the job, has kind of always been the guy, just tell me when you want me to throw the ball and I'll do it. And he walked by me in the hall and said he'll be ready to go on Friday. I didn't even see his pitch counter. I don't remember it, but I appreciate that thought. But I don't know if it'll be Friday for Will again. We'll see.
Coach, I'm sorry. Can you give me one more? Trey Wallace, please.
Hey, Tony, Christian Scott, having him come in there in the ninth inning, get a single, what does that say about him, his fourth SEC at bat, and the confidence that you have in him?
He's one of many guys, and it's a back and forth chess match in your head. I mean, to be fair to those guys, I think most coaches would agree with me. This time in the year, again, I've said it before, you got to let your guys play. Post a lineup that the guys are used to and play ball, and you kind of dance with your date that you brought to the whole deal or whatever kind of quirky phrase you can throw out there. But we've shown it to you, at least the local guys that have followed our team. We've done some things where we've given guys great responsibility, and it's because they've earned it. I think there's a lot of trust up and down the dugout. I mean, Jackson Greer catching for us. I could list off all the guys, but, part of it's a COVID year and everyone's roster's a little deeper. But he's one of many guys that we would trust with the season on the line. And, this was that type of deal. This is the postseason. So that was that type of deal. And he handled it in excellent fashion. I hope the other guys on the bench saw how much his presence affected his performance. And obviously he'll be ready to go again the next time we call his name.
Hey, Coach, thanks for your time.
Appreciate you all. Have a good one.
Thank